smiling. So I'm glad AC's in the building.
Nah,
It's all
I still
good. It's
smile.
all good. Hoya family in the building, so it's always gonna be love.
I was just telling him a story, how this, is coming from an unlikely place, being me trying to get the West Coast cats together.
Yeah.
But I saw you in the Trader Joe's by La Brea and Wilshire, I think.
You saw me?
I saw you. This is about 4 years ago, man. 4 or 5 years ago. It was
Yeah, I'm about to say that's like the last time I was ever roaming the streets
yeah.
out
And
there.
I was like, man, I want to go say what's up to this dude, because I loved your hustle. I loved how you carried it while you were there.
Appreciate it.
And we do a poor job of recognizing each other to begin with. And the fact that both of you cats were West Coast dudes, I'm like, I need to go show him some love. I said, but he might look at me crazy. So I didn't do it. So this is my redemption right now, man. I've been wanting to rap to you two cats for a long time. So
Here we go. All love.
Are we running live, babe? Okay, so we're running live.
All right, man.
All right.
So this is Hoya Locker Room, episode 14. It's the West Coast edition. Ashanti Cook and Brandon Bowman, much love to you both. Welcome. From the rip, the goal of Hoya Locker Room is just to embrace each other, share our experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, and try to keep this Hoya momentum going forward. Obviously, we like to see Big Pat do well. But more importantly for me, it's embracing cats that I know that wore the blue and gray, and y'all went through the same things that I went through. And I'm 60 years old, and I'm finally getting.
You don't look it though. That's the thing.
So I'm finally getting back to reach.
Yeah, you don't look like he's 60.
So I'm reaching back to my fellas, and I just want to thank you both for jumping on.
No doubt.
No doubt. Thanks for having us, Jim. Appreciate it.
Anything you want to share from the rip before I get started? Because I'm definitely going to be hitting you with questions because West Coast is in the building. So anything you guys want to say from the rip?
I just want to say thanks, Gene, for having me on, man. And I watched a couple of your previous episodes, and you're doing a good thing, man. You're doing a good thing. I'm enjoying the content and keeping the Hoya name relevant and flowing, and also, spreading the knowledge of the older guys amongst the new cast, So keep doing your thing, and I'm loving it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Hey, listen. This is my first time ever on Zoom. I'm not on social media. I stay away. Listen, when I got approached by obviously Eugene and Shay, asking me if I wanted to come on, it was something that I didn't hesitate doing. It's something that I've wanted to do, especially after I saw this was something that was reoccurring. I followed some of your podcasts, or I guess this would be kind of a podcast or
I don't know what to call it, Brandon, but it's something.
I've been following your conversations. I mean,
Thank
obviously
you.
we have a few Georgetown chats on WhatsApp and stuff like that. So, I'm just happy to be here, talk my stuff.
Yeah, we try and keep Bo informed. We try and keep Bo informed while he's across the water.
And as much as they can, man.
Yeah. We're trying to keep him informed as much as we can.
No doubt. So I want to start from Westchester High School. Right. I want you guys to take me back. How the hell did you get out of Cali and get to Georgetown? I mean, a storied high school. You guys were state champions that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You had the cat Hassan Adams on your crew.
Word.
You guys were loaded. How did you escape?
You want to go first or me? I'll go first. I'll go first since I committed first.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Listen, for me, that stigma from back then, dog, about West Coast players can't hoop on the East Coast. They're soft and all this, rah. Listen, because I was off that. I wanted to leave California. I saw that very early. So all my family is based on the East Coast.
Okay.
So, you know, my first visit to Georgetown was unofficial. I was about 15, 16 years old. It was during the summertime when I was going to visit my family. I had some free time. I went down to DC. I checked out Georgetown and I checked out Maryland because those were the two schools recruiting me the hardest. I met with Coach Williams, and he had introduced me to his whole coaching staff. I knew a couple of them already, but they showed me love, and I knew all the players that were committed there for that season. I had played against them. I was familiar with them. You know, we're still close to this day. Some of those guys, James Gist, DJ Strawberry. You know, I used to be close with McCray, and then you got Nick Cantor Medley. Like all those guys are my guys. They're all my year. You know what I'm saying? We're close. But when I went to Georgetown, I went to Maryland first. I went to Georgetown second. So when I got to Georgetown, you know, it was just different. Like I got hit with all the history, all the momentum that the program's been carrying for years. I got hit hard one time, and my parents were with me, so obviously they were feeling it. But the biggest thing for me, hey, listen, the biggest thing for me was when I stepped on that court, because I stepped on the court and I dominated that first day. So I knew it was an opportunity for me to come in and play after that. I knew where I stood against college basketball players. I mean, they're grown men. You got Ruben Boomshay, you got Victor Samnick. You guys are like 21, 22 years old. I'm like 15, 16. And I was holding my own. I literally did my stuff. So I impressed everyone, including myself. And I was riding a high wave already from Nike camp. So, you know, I was like, I'm going to Georgetown. There was no doubt in my mind. And then, you know, Big John got me in that back room. He got me in that back room and got to talking to me. You know, he's very persuasive. That voice it carries.
To say the least.
Yo, say the least. It carries, it bounces off those walls in there, and you're hit hard by it. You listen, you hang on to every word he says. So, you know, I enjoy myself. Shout out to Ronnie Thompson, because Ronnie is the one who recruited me and brought me in. He saw me when I wasn't ranked. He saw me when I wasn't being recruited by anyone. And he let me know, like, yo, you're someone I'm going after. He saw me play once in Nike camp, and it was a wrap. So shout out to Ronnie Thompson. I've got so much love for him. He's such an A1 dude. Shout out to everybody, you know, everyone that has ever coached me there. Like, it was a great experience. And all that got me going there. So by the time I came back to California, you know, I was pretty much set. And I was being recruited by everyone at this time. I was being recruited by everyone. Every school in America was recruiting me. I was ranked top 50. So at this time, it was on. But I knew where I was going. I knew where I wanted to go. I wanted to be a Hoya. You know, I throw out different players, you know. Tony Bland is someone who I looked up to. And he went to Syracuse. He also went to Westchester High School.
Right.
So he's someone that I wanted to follow. He's someone I looked up to. Played in the Big East. To me, the Big East Conference was the best conference in college basketball. It was the best conference.
Pac-10 was kind of falling off by then, right? Or no?
It wasn't really falling off, but I didn't like the brand of basketball. Like the West Coast is soft. You know, that really irked me. So, you know, you
took that personal.
Of course, I took it personal. Like I was out to prove. I was out to show and prove. You know, you had a lot of doubters at home, maybe some doubters at my school. I'm talking about Westchester.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I knew what I was capable of doing. So
well, you definitely made your mark on the OGs because you were a constant source of enjoyment for us because you played. It wasn't angry, but you played very purposeful.
No, it was anger.
So you played like you were serious about it. Now, Mr. Cook, on the other hand, he was sexy with it. So you two didn't talk about going to Georgetown together?
Nah,
Ever.
I took a different route. So I originally committed and signed to New Mexico. So I was gonna be a Lobo. And
I can see that. I can see that.
yeah, so I was gonna play for Fran Fraschilla.
Right.
And then like before our season was done, our senior year, he got fired. And so they had a coaching change. And then I had talked to the head coach, and the coach basically said, like, we don't want you. We don't know who you are or anything, like you won't play. And then a former teammate of mine named Chad Bell, who went to Westchester, but he was doing his freshman year at New Mexico. And I had talked to him on the phone and asked him how it was, because I was still thinking about going. Because when I was doing my whole recruiting visits and sit downs in the home, my parents basically said, you want to go where you're wanted, And Fran Fraschilla had been recruiting me since sophomore year, end of sophomore year, all the way up to my senior year, So I felt the love that he was going to try and get me better and get me to the next level. Like he had a vested interest in me. So when he got fired, I talked to the coach, talked to Chad, and then he said, nah, don't come. I'm thinking about transferring myself. So I said, all right. So I asked him out of my letter of intent, and then I took a visit to San Diego State. I had one lined up to go to Nevada, and then Georgetown, they started recruiting me. And so, because their guard situation started to be a little bit iffy. So I was like, all right. I grew up watching the Big East. I love Georgetown basketball. I was like, AI went here. Like the jerseys are sweet. And so I went
Best
on my
uniforms
visit.
in college basketball, hands down.
Jerseys are sweet. So I went on my visit, and Gene, I kid you not, I thought that school was an all-black school at first. I'm not gonna lie.
I did too.
And I went on my visit. I'm walking around. Tony Bethel was my host. I'm like, hey, Tony, where are all the black people at, man? He was like, yo, you honestly met them? I was like, yeah, that was like the track and football players. He was like, yeah, that's about it. I was like, what? But overall, my visit was cool. Like, it was super cool. Just the tradition, the history, just like going back to what Bo said, just speaking to Big John, just like a wealth of knowledge. Like I grew up watching this man, and so him being like another black figure, black father figure, like you watch him and how he's like loves his players and the camaraderie and the chemistry that he built there with this team, and like, all black, 5 stars just out there kicking ass and just doing, So I was like, I want to come here. So I flew back home. I talked to my parents about it, and then also the education too. So the education was big. It's one of the top schools in the country.
You two didn't talk about it.
Nah, well, I mean,
Not
after
really.
the fact, yeah. After I came back from my visit.
This is why I'm asking you both this way.
Yeah.
So today is Billy Martin's birthday, right? So
Okay.
Billy Martin was my teammate in high school. He came to Georgetown after me.
Okay.
I had absolutely nothing to do with it. If anything, I would think he would try to go someplace else and not try to play with me another couple of years.
Yeah. Nah, I looked at it as like when I came for my visit, Bo and I talked, and I was like, yo, Brandon's been one of my closest friends since we were 10 years old.
Right.
Like we played AAU ball together, like high school ball together. So I've known this man literally my whole life. So we talked about it, and I was like, yo, go to Georgetown. My best friend's there. Why not? So, and then just, the Big East. It's the best conference. Playing against the best people, you automatically going to get better. Iron sharpens iron, So I wanted to go and just prove myself that I could play in like one of the top conferences in the country. So, and then I was going to be on TV every night too on ESPN. So I was like,
4:00 back home when you're on TV.
Yeah.
Hey, Gene, let me tell you, when I found out that he was going to Georgetown, I was in the All-Star game cooking. He walks in. I'm shooting a shot on the court in the middle of All-Star game. He walks in. I'm like, after I shoot it, I didn't think about anything else.
Yeah,
I didn't think about shit. Like, I'm like, yo, are you going to school with me? He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that was it. I shot the shot on the court. I was like, yo, are you going to Georgetown? Are you a Hoya? He looked at me and was just like,
got it.
I was like, yo, we on.
So you had a legendary coach in high school, right?
Yeah.
Ed Azam.
Ed Azam, yeah.
So you meet Big John. another legendary cat, right? Big John. You met JT3.
Yeah.
Did you meet JT3?
That was later.
That was later.
Yeah.
So you got all these legendary coaches you're meeting, and maybe JT3 wasn't legendary yet. What was your impression? Like, do you felt you were well prepared in high school? Because, bro, you said you came in cooking, but just from a coaching standpoint, you know, was there an adjustment for you guys?
You can go.
I say Coach Zam prepared us pretty well going into college, especially on the defensive side of things. I remember it was times Coach Etched, because we had Coach Etched for our first 2 years. And we'd be doing a defensive drill, and like me and Bo, freshmen, we're picking it up, boom, slide rotation, we're here, weak side. And we're looking at other guys like he has to teach them. And like they're juniors and seniors. I'm like, yo, y'all didn't learn how to do this? And we learned this in high school.
Right.
So, yeah, I felt super prepared going into college, especially on the defensive end. And then just the mindset that we had, too. Like, Coach Zam made us, like, super tough, you know, like our pre-season workouts are just like
I mean, because
nuts.
it's clear. I mean, he started all 127 of his games. You were a 3-year starter. So clearly you guys were prepared from the rip.
Yeah.
You were prepared from the rip.
Yeah,
Nope.
and I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta piggyback on what Ashanti said. Like Coach Zam, the whole coaching staff, DeWitt Cotton, Brian Henderson, they all prepared us extremely well. And we played so much basketball from our sophomore to senior year against so many top basketball players in the country.
Right.
I mean, yo, there's no way but to get prepared. You're going to get prepared regardless because you're on the court, and like Ashanti said, iron sharpens iron. So, you know, we were well prepared, and I already knew what to expect because I had played with the guys before, and then Shea went on his visit. I'm sure he played with them. But it was a killer be killed attitude. I went in feeling like no one can stop me. Like that's how I went in. That's how I went in.
Yeah, it's just a testament to both of you because you played so many minutes. You were on the court so much from the very beginning. Like, and then you had coaching changes. How did that, how did you guys handle that and still maintain your level of play? I mean, it's a fair question because you had different people.
You don't have a choice. It's either that or transfer.
Yeah.
Which is what they do now.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's not going my way. I gotta bounce. You know.
Right.
So, yeah. You know,
if it's not going well for you, you get out of there. I mean, we're not going to name any players, but I mean, it happens. It happens whether it's your fault or the system's fault or the coach's fault. It doesn't matter. But you know, that type of stuff happens. I mean. It is what it is.
Well, I mean, like the new coaching staff, you know, you just adapt. You just gotta adapt, you know, you adapt, you put the work in, you know, in your off time, and you just adapt pretty much and control what you can control, which is your play and performance on the court.
Listen, when JT3 first came in, my first workout with JT3, we didn't do any shooting. We didn't do anything really that you would do in a regular basketball workout. All we did was hard dribbles, and I practiced backdoor passes for about an hour and a half. I was like, yo, I can't do this. This was
he just said, I can't do this.
Yo,
and, steps.
Yeah, and then JT3 was like, I don't know if I want him. Like, it was just us. No one else was in school. It was just me. I was going home the next day. It was the summertime, and we both were like, hey, we don't know if this is going to work. Because I'm like, I haven't even touched the court yet. I'm still on the sideline. It's been 45 minutes. So he's got me dribbling. Coach Burke's got me dribbling, and they got me making backdoor passes with both hands. I've never done that before. Now today, you know, I still play basketball. I'm a professional basketball player. I play for a living. So
you are a professional basketball player. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all I know. That's all I've known to this point. So, you know, when I play and I make backdoor passes, they're on point. their players and coaches are like, where did you learn how to pass like that? And it's funny. It's funny because when I was at Georgetown, I never threw the backdoor pass.
No,
Never.
you did not.
No, never.
He did
I
not.
never threw it. Because listen, I knew if I threw it, I was never gonna get it back. First of all. Secondly, like that's an equal opportunity offense. Like it went from me and Gerald Riley scoring 16, 17, 20 a game to everyone touches the ball, everyone's gonna be equal opportunities, and things aren't gonna revolve around, solely you and you anymore. It was everyone. So that was the biggest adjustment for me. For like guys like Shea, it was much easier because he's a natural point guard. He knows how to read the game. He's a floor general. I wasn't a floor general. I was a scorer, rebounder, shit talker, like whatever you want to say. But yeah, and then you got like Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert, and that group of guys who were just coming in. So they adapted right away. That was the first thing they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For me, it was the biggest adjustment, and I think Coach Thompson knew that. And that's why I spent like a lot of time like talking to him, and he was talking to me, trying to find out points in the offense where I could be aggressive because I had to figure it out. That was the biggest adjustment for me.
And that was junior year?
That was junior year.
Junior year.
And
so
then once
Ashanti, you got hurt your freshman year?
Yeah, I got hurt my freshman year against Duke. We were playing at Duke, and I stepped on somebody's foot guarding the ball out of bounds, one of the players, and then like I was out for like at least like a month and some change.
So when you came back, did y'all have a new coach?
Nah. Didn't have a new coach.
So how was it coming back? Did you adjust right away? Because it seemed like
it took me, like my confidence was shot a little bit, so it took me a little bit of time to get my rhythm, back. Because I wasn't like playing 5-on-5 like that, like I do like little spot drills here and there, but a lot of the times I was just rehabbing, and so my confidence was shot a little bit, like coming back after that. And then I think I had one or two good games in the NIT, and that kind of got me like rolling a little bit. But freshman year, I'll say we had a really good team. I mean, some things could have been done, X's and O's wise, but overall, I think we had a really good team. We had Mike. Mike was a killer.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Mike was a killer.
Oh, that's what I hear. Mike was a killer.
Yo.
Hey, he didn't practice, Gene. When we went 5-on-5, this man sat out and rode the bike and was getting treatment the whole time, because it was too easy.
It was too easy. He was too good in practice. Whatever team he was on would win.
It was a cheat code. You just like, all right, we're down 2 buckets. Here you go, Mike. Boom, bucket. Like it was too easy. But we had a really, really, really good team. Bo was coming into his own freshman year. Tony Bethel was playing lights out. Mike West was a dominant force in the middle. Vic was playing both sides of the ball. Gerald was shooting the lights out. Like we had a really good chemistry, good group of guys that freshman year. I just don't know what happened. Like we dropped some games that we were supposed to win. So
like St. John's when they went 6-on-5 and took a lot to beat us.
Right. Yeah. It's just, certain games we should have just won and pulled out. We should have been a tournament team that year, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I'm sorry. I heard the cackle.
Yo, that sophomore year was a joke.
Was it rough?
Man.
Was it rough?
It was rough.
You shook my teeth. Yeah,
dude,
bro.
I felt for y'all.
Yeah, that sophomore year was rough, man. Rough. It was just rough.
We had stopped playing basketball. We had stopped playing basketball like in February. February.
Yeah, we were done.
Because we didn't make anything. We weren't eligible for anything.
I think we barely squeaked into the Big East tournament and then lost the first round. Yeah,
I'm putting my hand on.
that one was bad, man.
I was feeling for y'all.
Bad. It was bad. We had like really no depth coming off the bench. Really, like I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the best outing that year. Like I struggled my sophomore year. You know, starting that year. Bo played rough. Bo and Gerald Riley were playing really well. You know, but you know, they just didn't have any help.
But I feel like what you did junior and senior year is a direct result of what happened the following couple of years. So it's almost like you guys were that frontline platoon, and you went out there and took all the bullets. Because I mean, it's in a program you're gonna have some off years.
True.
Right? And you know that's why you two, to me, like I'm trying to. You need your love. You need your recognition, because that set Georgetown up to come back, to get that momentum back.
Right. Yeah. No,
so,
I feel like a lot of the times, like we're not often in that discussion of teams, especially like the 04, 05 team, 05, 06, you know, us getting to the Sweet 16. Like, I feel like those two teams, we were like the resurgence of the program pretty much.
Correct.
And I don't think we get enough recognition for that, you know, so. But it is what it is, you know.
It's Sunday. It's a heat wave in LA.
It's hot.
It's
It's
August
a heat
16th.
wave in Israel too.
This is all about you two. It's all about you two. I've been waiting. I just find it interesting though. Two West Coast, because I've been on the West Coast for the last 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I've been to the Drew League. The Drew League reminds me of what we used to have called the Urban Coalition. Not that Jabbo Kenner League shit. Not that. No.
Hey, it was some killers in Kenner League, though.
You don't know the Urban Coalition.
Okay. All right.
If you know the Drew League, imagine that in D.C.
Got you.
So it's no comparison.
Okay.
But I just feel like you two, what you accomplished going to Georgetown, being from the West Coast, I figured you had some type of roots. I just feel like you're two people in the program that I just definitely think deserves more salute, deserves more credit. I mean, it's not like we're not talking about two cats that don't have their high school jerseys retired, right? So it's not like you showed up with the pain, and I feel like you produced. Based on what you thought Georgetown was going to be like, and then once you got there, what were any major surprises, things that you hey, in the background.
Look at Juju,
what's up?
Hey, he's about to be 2 and he's the size of a 3.5-year-old. Hey, what's up?
He ready?
What's up? Yeah, he's ready.
So major things that shocked you, impressed you, discouraged you, encouraged you, all the above.
Major things that shocked me. Go ahead, Bo.
I got one.
Made you happy. Made you want to stay your whole form.
Hey, listen. We had both signed. It was pretty late in our high school year. It was after the season, right?
Yeah, mine was after the season, yeah.
So, man, me and Shay were chilling, talking at school, and one of our female friends comes up to us, and she's just like, yeah, giving us a lot of attitude. Yeah, who's this girl on campus looking for y'all? We're in high school, and we were like, what are you talking about, yo? What girl's looking for us now?
Let me turn my volume up. Let me get my volume up, because you got a deep voice. Let me get my volume up.
Oh yeah, this girl comes up to my prom date. She was just like, yeah, there's this girl on campus looking for y'all. And I'm just like, why are you talking with your neck and all this? Like, what's going on? Like, you starting off on a bad note today? She's like, yeah, this is girl asking for you and Ashanti. She's white, wooty woo. We went to an all black school. It was hood. You know what I'm saying?
80% black. Westchester was 80%.
I know Westchester. My middle son graduated from Loyola. Not the same.
Yeah, right. Not the same.
I went to a Loyola Westchester football game. It was different. I was on the Westchester side.
Yeah, there we go. Right. And listen, so this girl comes up to her. She's like, hi. She told us her name. I'm not going to say it. But she was like, I play volleyball and I go to Georgetown. So me and Shay were like looking at each other. We were confused. Like, you go to Georgetown? We didn't get it.
I'm still trying to get it too.
I'm like, but you're white. Like, I didn't know. I'm like, Shay, but you're white. Like, I thought Georgetown was all black.
Same, yeah.
I didn't get it. So I saw her as soon as we got to school, like a couple months later.
Yeah.
You know, we were cool, but that threw me off. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that had to be the biggest adjustment.
Oh, okay. All right. Like after getting there, like, oh, all right, bet. I mean, it was cool. Like, there was no problem, but it was just like, oh, this is how it is. Yeah. All right, but
right.
Here we go.
Yeah. I say scholars help with the transition too. Did y'all have scholars back then?
We had scholars, but unlike you two, I wasn't really recruited. They just brought me in the back door after everybody had signed. So I didn't get the scholars program or the upper bound, or I got none of that. They just brought me in like a walk on. So I missed all that. So let me ask you both the culture of Georgetown. The love we get from Hollywood. Do you think you felt that while you were there? Did you feel the love for the Georgetown, the external love? And the reason why I say that is I graduated in '84. Like you both weren't even born yet, or maybe
we were born in '84.
I didn't know the impact that Georgetown was having on the culture outside of college basketball.
Right.
And I didn't really understand until I moved to New York, because New York cats are a little bit more, how should I say, expressive, a little bit more on the militant side compared to DC.
Yeah.
So where I'm going with this, like, did you guys feel that Georgetown love when you came back to Cali, when you graduated? Have you felt it? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's something that we can continue to build on? Just interested on your insights, because we're decades apart, but I still feel like we have this common thread.
Right. I say, growing up, you felt the Georgetown impact because, like, the starter jackets, I had one of those. You see some of the hip hop artists with the Georgetown with the
gear,
larger and caricature Bulldogs, the sweatshirts and stuff, and the G hats and stuff. So, like, growing up, Georgetown was like huge, and then you had AI, rocking the Jordan 11s, the patent leather joints, so, and he was killing.
That helps.
He was killing. And then they had the gray unis with the kente cloth print, the joints were sweet. So I felt the impact growing up. When I was in school, I didn't feel it had like that big of a presence, I'd say within the city, our junior and senior year, we were getting a lot of love, like our junior and senior, because we were winning, we were winning a lot our junior and senior year. But coming back home, everybody was always showing love, like, yo, keep doing your thing, or you talk to people, I'll have conversations with people, they find out I go to Georgetown and they want to ask me, what's it like? Like, that's amazing. I always wanted to go to that school. It's beautiful, so I always get in these conversations, even now to this day, from graduating from Georgetown, when people find out that I go to the school, I tell them I went to Georgetown, so.
Yeah.
Same for you?
It's a little, yeah. I mean, I've been playing overseas basketball since
a minute.
Yeah, 2008. That's when 2008, January 4th, that was my first time leaving the States for basketball. And to this day, when I say that I went to Georgetown, for people who don't know, obviously I'm 35, about to be 36. So guys that I play with are, these guys are so much younger than me. They're like 10 years younger than me, some of these guys. Some of these guys think that LeBron James is the best basketball player ever. So I gotta deal with that. But at the same time, they all know and respect Georgetown, from the coaches all the way down to the team managers. I'm talking about everywhere I've ever been, every continent, every country I've ever played in. oh, you went to Georgetown, whoopty whoopty whoop. And then on top of that, Georgetown is such a prestigious school, like on the classroom, on the academic side, that I get just as much love when people find out that I went to Georgetown and they found out that I graduated, that I actually worked on something. You know what I'm saying? That's big too. Like when they ask you, oh, what did you major in? Or how many majors? Or what's going on? Like all that carries weight. It all carries weight. I don't know how much I don't know how much weight it carries like in the workforce, because obviously I've been playing basketball, but you know, I'm sure it carries over and it holds some strength over there too. But
So I'm going to jump in on that point because unlike you both, I've been in the workforce since I graduated. So for me, part of this Hoya locker room thing is, you know, I want to be an olive branch to our prestigious alumni.
There we go.
When I was there in the 80s, it wasn't that it was frowned upon that we talk to the alumni or have that type of opportunity that every student has at Georgetown. You go to Georgetown for the networking capabilities post-graduation. We didn't really have that because Big John ran a really tight-knit program because that was the 80s, right?
No social media either.
What's that?
No social media either.
No social media either, right?
Platform.
So everything was, hand to mouth or. So what I want to encourage the university, right, is the youngins you got on the team now, are we providing them with some of the opportunities that maybe you didn't have or I didn't have? Are we connecting with the alumni? You're over in Israel. Are there alumni in Israel that you've connected with? Is there a network that we can establish so those things can happen? Cook, you in Hollywood. We have a group called GEMA, Georgetown Entertainment Media. You should be a part of that, connecting to that.
I've been to a couple of those meetings and stuff and done some networking and stuff. So I'm encouraging that. I'm encouraging that.
I don't think, to your point, Bo, Georgetown is an illustrious university. It's known all over the world.
Yep.
And I want to make sure, because while you're there, that's probably the best opportunity to network. But if you're a student athlete, your time is pretty limited. So if there aren't any vehicles put in place, that's something that's kind of hard to accomplish. So, case in point, I've been in LA the last 10, 15 years, whatever. And I told you my Trader Joe's story. Like, for sure, post-corona, when you get back, Bo, we getting together.
Yeah.
And we're going to invite as many LA Hoyas as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to kick it, to talk shit, to vibe, because that's something I didn't do while I was in school with anyone. I had no quote unquote Black experience at Georgetown. And I'm from DC, and I knew Georgetown was all white, but I didn't really think about it because I didn't have a chance to go there. So it didn't really dawn on me. But my point being is I want to maximize everything about the school. And even though you're 20 years out and I'm 50 years out or whatever the case may be, that alumni is still in effect.
True.
Like, I want to be able to reach out when I get to LA, to reach out to Hoyas that I don't know or wherever I go. And so that's what this Hoya locker room is about. And I can't thank you two enough for jumping on. I know my experience at Georgetown was a long time ago. So it's not really about that, but how can I help the younger cats today to benefit? Because the access is crazy. We're doing the Zoom and, we're chopping it up and sharing content. We wouldn't have been doing this a year ago.
Nah.
Right? So
I say this. Lil Pat's been doing a pretty good job of trying to connect, the former alumni. He's been doing a really good job at it, hosting Zoom meetings and, trying to get different events put together for us to network. Because a lot of us now are in different fields, some are still playing basketball, some are coaching,
some are acting.
some are acting like
Better
myself.
call Sal, you know.
Better call Saul. Better call, homie.
So I say Pat's doing a really good job of that, of trying to get like that connection and that base within the Hoya family, because
Right.
it's sad kind of, because you look at other programs like a Duke, a North Carolina, a Kansas, like those players that even graduated, you know, in the 80s or 90s, they still have a connection with the players of today. You know, like they you know, they're able to like contact them and you know, try and pick their brains about things and about school and campus and, you know, just about life and you know, shoot the shit.
Right.
Where I feel like I didn't have that when I was in school, you know, like I felt like I didn't have access to talk to Pat or to Dikembe or anything, because those guys never really came back like that. Like I saw Pat every once in a while, Dikembe would come, but Zoe wasn't showing up like that, you know, like Zoe wasn't showing up like that. Like I went to the game, Syracuse game last year, and I sat next to Alonzo, but I had to introduce myself and let him know.
I think I saw the picture. I think I saw the picture.
Yeah, I was like, hey, how you doing, Zoe? My name's Ashanti. I graduated 2006. I played for Coach da 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 da. And then he was like, oh yeah, I know who you are. You know, like, you know, like instead of just like him automatically like having that some type of relationship, you know. So I have to say, Pat's doing a really good job. Lil Pat's doing a really good job of trying to get that connection through the generations.
Have you guys listened to the Dog Talk 101?
Yeah.
With Chris and Austin?
With Chris and Austin, I like it.
Yeah.
Really?
Like
they got their own show?
They're doing a little podcast.
They got a
Little
podcast.
So I had them on episode 4 of this shit. And I just had those two on together because, you know, I figured the flow would be nice. Like, I like it when you two come on together because, you know, the stories are better, the energy's better. So those two did an episode and the flow was so nice that they jumped into their own shit.
Nice.
And for me, that's what this should be about. Like, I want somebody to see this and call Ashanti up and, yo, man, we've been looking for your look in this next little commercial. Can we chop this up? Or Bo, I want somebody to call me and say, yo, your man's still playing in Israel. You know, does he need product? Does he need some gear? You know, because, you know, I worked in footwear and apparel for 2 decades. So I still got connects and contact. And those are the things we can share with each other. That's not, I mean, that's regular.
Right.
Like what I'm talking about is not some extracurricular. This is like, yo, dudes, we went through something together.
Yeah.
We got a bond whether we want it or not. So next time I see you Trader Joe's, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put my stuff in his line, in his basket. But
like, go and get this for me, big fella.
but that's what it's about. But Bowman, you gotta get a social media play. I gotta be able to find out what you do.
Hey, this man has never had he's had no social media since the beginning. No Facebook page when it started, nothing.
Hey, what?
You all pro in Israel, we don't know. Come on, man. We gotta just tell me, I'll blast it. Just tell me.
Hey, Bo is low key. You don't know this man. Like he's low key. It's been a couple of times when we were in school and I hit Bo to be like, hey, we're going to so and so around 9 o'clock. And he'll be like, oh, I might be there, I might not, or whatever. Son, we'll get there. It'll be like me and like 2 of my partners. We'll go. And he'll be there already by himself, just chilling on the wall. Just like, I'm like, yo, like he does a lot of things low key and by himself. That's just who he is. 1,500
points, over 700 rebounds. I don't know how many, 300 assists, 200 steals, and the cat low key like that.
Low key.
I can't let anyone know all my moves.
How many more years you got? How many more years you got balling?
Until I stop dunking on 7-footers.
Can we get some video?
I got plenty. Listen, Gene, Gene, give me your phone number and I'll shoot you a lot and I'll
Okay.
flood you and you can do whatever you want with it.
Ashanti, hook him up with my digits, you know, because I'm
All
sure
right.
he.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I mean, unless I send him the bat signal, but definitely, you guys are family to me, man. And the work you put in, just you know, it did not go unnoticed. It did not go unnoticed, and you know, it is more than the Duke game. Obviously, it's more than just the Duke game. I mean, you guys will go down in infamy for that.
Yeah.
DJ
That
wanted
was a fun game.
Oh, it had to have been a fun game.
Hey, Gene, the day before in practice, hey, JT3 told us, like, listen, we're about to beat them. He told us, hey, remember Shay? He was like, yo, I'm telling y'all right now, we're about to beat them.
Yes.
We're about to run them out of the gym.
Yep.
The wood's about to be shot.
Yep.
Y'all were like, all right, yep, we're going to do it. That shit happened.
He had us clicking on all cylinders. Like the lead up, the preparation before that game was like so intense and so detailed. It was a cat named he was on our team, Josh Thornton. You remember Josh?
Yeah.
So Josh played the role of JJ Redick on the scout team, right? So, hey, Josh running around, and I started out on JJ, right? Yeah. So,
man, I checked JJ that game. He was running so much.
Yo,
everybody was checking him. So Josh is in practice, pulling up from half court, letting it fly, and it's going cash. Coach look at me, he's like, I'm like, he's not gonna shoot him. And he's like, you don't know that. You need to get up on his ass. Like, I'm like, oh shit. All right. And sure enough, JJ a couple times run off, get on a clean look from half court and let that bitch fly. Like, yeah. So, but the preparation and the detail was like phenomenal leading up towards that. He instilled so much confidence in us and that leading up towards that game. Like when we got in the game, we were on autopilot. Like
that changed the whole season. That game right there changed the rest of the season.
Yeah, we were on autopilot for like that whole game. I felt like I wasn't thinking. It was just cut, layup. Okay, I'm gonna get in my bag real quick, bucket. Like it just was on autopilot.
Yeah, the play. Well, obviously, the dunk Bo had off the break stands out. But the move you made, you came by the basket, Cook, and you flipped it back. Dog, I think you might have blew out your quad on that one.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Coach Johnson definitely was like, yo, we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them. Don't worry. He was calling certain players bums. I'm not gonna name any names.
So DJ,
I will.
DJ wanted me to make sure. DJ wanted me to make sure I gave you guys love, and Cookie wanted me to ask you about a play against Syracuse or something.
What?
I don't know what he talking about though. What he talking about?
What play?
A timeout or something, a turnover or something. He said, I don't know what he talking about.
Hold on.
Hey, so all right, this is sophomore year. We had a cat. It's a cat named Amari Faulkner, right? he was on our team, and all he wanted to was dunk. That's it, right? So
practice or a game, just
in either. Like, so coach draws up an alley-oop play for O to get it. And so I'm throwing a lob. At this time, I'm like not the best at throwing lobs, which is crazy.
You a shooter. Like,
I'll hit you on the run, but like that thing, like, I don't know. So the play works. I get the ball. I'm like, O's open. I toss that joint. Gee, I must have threw that joint in like the 19th row. O came down, looked at me.
You threw it up to the basketball office.
Yeah. O looked at me, was like, come on. So we got back. We were all standing together too. We lived in Village B together. Me, Bo, Amari, and DJ. So Amari said, my whole career, I just wanted to catch a lob, and you messed it up. O didn't see another minute the rest of the season.
You know he remembers that to this day.
Hey, Gene, the homie was so mad at Shay. He told me, hey, after Shay left the house that night, O came in my room. He was like, Doc, I'm so mad at Ashanti right now. I was like, he messed up your fame, huh? He messed up your top five. Your sports
he was
top
wide
five.
open too, though. That's the thing.
That was funny, though.
So, Bo, what's this thing I hear about So you wear size 18, right?
Nah. Nah. It's close, but nah.
So one of the fans said there was, if you wore size 17 and a half or size 17, you would have hit a jumper. It would have been a 3 or something against Syracuse or something.
Oh.
He took his hit. He took him out. He took him out.
Hey.
Did he take him out? Hey, did he take him out?
Dude.
Yeah, we gotta bring that up, huh?
He act
Listen.
like I asked. He act like he Freddie Brown. And I asked him about the pass.
Oh, snap.
Not that
Hey, I
bad.
just,
No,
I
it's
just
not. That was regular
I just
season.
hit you with a Donald Trump answer. I just walked away.
Just walk away. Oh no, what? No, just point to the other person.
What'd you say?
Wait, no,
What's your
Okay, you.
Okay,
Nah,
you.
but
What's your
listen.
question?
What's your question?
He's like,
But listen,
what's your
like,
question?
yeah, it's sick over there. With that's a whole different other topic. But honestly, like after school on my G League team, I played with Jerry McNamara for a little bit.
Mm.
That was something else because we got close. We got close for a season. This was right after we both graduated. He came to my G League team, and you know all the battles we had. You know we get to talking, and he's just like, one time he's like, "So what size shoe do you wear?" And I'm like, well, it's funny, Gene. Don't laugh. In college, I wore a 17. Now I wear a 16. I hoop in 16. Yeah, I don't know. So he was like, "What size shoe do you wear?" I was like, "I wear a size 16."
It's because of orthotics?
Yeah.
Okay.
The orthotics made me wear a bigger size.
Bigger
So
size,
yeah, I used to step on the line a lot in college. And that game against Syracuse, like they were like, "It's a 2. His foot is on the line." I was like, "Oh man." So we talk about that. I played against Hakeem Ward. I played against Hakeem Ward 2 years ago. It was ugly for him and his team, but I played against him. I killed him. But you know, seeing him brought back so many memories.
So many memories.
And I'm just like, yo, we have so much history. He was like, I know, we don't even need to talk about it. Like, there's so
That's
much.
real talk.
Yeah.
How are you guys both handling the pandemic, the virus? How are your families? Are you both well?
My family's good. My mom and dad and my brother are good. My brother just moved back from Atlanta after being out there for 5 years. So he's back home, happy to be back home. So it's good to see him as well, you know.
Right.
But yeah, everybody's healthy. Well, I try and go see my parents probably like 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
And hang out with them, you know. But honestly, this time has been kind of a blessing a little bit. It's been able to force me to reflect on things internally, like for myself, you know, and some personal growth. And then also it's a couple of things like writing wise, I've been wanting to do for a while that, you know, I didn't really have the chance and opportunity to do because, you know, so busy going to auditions. I was coaching, training kids. So like, I didn't really have the time, but now like I got myself a schedule. I write, read, like I'm just enhancing my craft a lot more, you know, on the other side, opposed to just, you know, being in front more off the camera. So this has been a very, very, very good time for me. I've been using it and being very productive during this time. So
Hoya alumni in the industry. He's working. He's growing. He's evolving. Give him a call, please. He's going to join Jima again.
I'll be at the meetings. Yeah.
Hey, are you still working on a script for your show?
Yeah. So me and my writing partner, we're working on a TV show right now. So we got the bones down and the structures, characters already developed. So we're trying to like move it forward with like a pitch kit and all that type of stuff. So looking to do that next year, beginning of next year for sure.
Okay. And Bo, you said you're gonna play as long as you can. You're gonna keep dunking on folks.
Until I stop dunking on footers, like it's still on and cracking.
You're in a good situation where you're at now. You're comfortable.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Where I'm at is safer than America right now. So
Okay.
to be honest, but you know, I've had some family members that have contracted the virus on the East Coast. but they're A-okay. They were asymptomatic, or they had light symptoms. So out here, it's not that bad. It never got that bad.
So when you come back to the States, you're based in LA though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So the three of us definitely have a date when you get back this way. Again, we're pushing over an hour. I try to keep these things short. But
oh wow!
How can you keep this short?
You Hoya dudes just go, man. You just go. But I do think I had this picture of Snoop in I think you've seen it. He's got on the Georgetown sweatshirt.
Yeah.
But he's actually, I think he's coming out of the pen. Like
we've all seen that iconic picture.
I want to use that as my backdrop today.
That would have been killer.
West Coast.
West Coast.
Nothing but love for you guys, man. Let's stay in touch. Please stay
sure.
safe. My best to you and your families. Cook, we got to hook up real soon. There's something I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
Picture-wise in your field.
All right.
I don't want to waste your time on here. Love for you guys, man. Thank you so much.
Gene, thank you, man.
Thank you for having us.
Bo, I'm going to get my information. Cook got my information. Just send me some stuff on you so I can just push it out there, man, because, I mean, you guys I'm
about to flood your shit.
You made the program. What it is. Oh, I do want to ask you both of you a question before you leave. Does Georgetown have any legs recruiting-wise in the West Coast, or is that deaded?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, we had who was a kid from Oakland who just went there and then transferred.
Jinko? What's his name?
Kenjo. Yeah.
Right. That's the only person I can think of that went there within recent years from the West Coast, you know?
Right.
But it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard for like the younger generation, I say, to go from the West to the East Coast, you know? It's an adjustment.
You two did it.
But here's the thing though, Gene, like me and Bo, we went to Westchester. We were traveling so much on the East Coast, and like we played in Florida. One year, I think our senior, we played Florida, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Houston. So
New Jersey.
all out of state tournaments. And we were playing the best of the best competition, like played against Carmelo's, the Amari Stoudemire's, you know, we did a lot of traveling. So for us, well, for me, I was exposed to that, you know, and I got a feel for that brand of basketball too, you know, like we played against Dunbar, you know, so I don't think a lot of kids are exposing themselves to those tournaments like that. So I think it's just.
Hey, who went to Dunbar? Trey Kelly?
Trey Kelly, yeah.
Hey, I played against him in my pro career.
Trey Kelly. But yeah, we did a lot of traveling, Gene. So for me, it was easy for me to adapt, and I wanted to leave anyway, just to broaden my horizons and experience, you know, something else besides LA, you know. Right. So,
do you think the brand is strong enough to get kids out of the West Coast?
That's another thing.
Of course, it is.
You think so?
Man, you got that Michael Jordan on the top right in the corner. True. You got that. You got, what is it called these days? Verizon MCI? I don't even know, dog.
I think it's the Verizon Center.
I don't know. You got that. You got DC. You got Howard. You got so many pros in the situation. Now, I don't understand why all these kids are leaving or why they leave or what it may be. I don't know. But everything is there for you to succeed.
True, especially now with the facility that they have, the John Thompson Arena practice facility. Like if Bo and I had access to that, to go able to go shoot whenever you want, like that's amazing.
I wouldn't have needed that though. I needed that was good.
That's amazing. Because like our gym, like when we practice, like the janitors would come and you trying to get work after.
I went to the same school you went to. I know what happened.
All right.
I know what happened.
Gene was the same custodian there. I forgot his name. All right.
Everybody
was his name?
I forgot his name.
TC.
Yeah, all right.
he never said anything else. Says, all right. I'm like, what's up? How are you doing? All right.
Hey, we
What's the
used to
day?
get toilet paper
All
from
right.
him though. He used to give us like bags of toilet paper because we couldn't afford to go to the store and get the joint. So he'd give us like, yo, y'all need some rolls of toilet? Just like, yeah, we need some.
Did y'all have new locker rooms when you were there? Which locker rooms did you had the same ones we had?
In McDonough?
You had the ones downstairs or upstairs?
Upstairs.
See, we never went upstairs. We had that shit downstairs. Across.
They turned that into a weight room.
Well, I mean, right next to the training room, right?
Oh, you had those.
That was
leading up.
So
I know what you're talking about.
You know where the cage is?
Yeah.
So right across from that was our locker room.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, that's nasty.
No. What was nasty about it was if somebody was taking a shit and you were in the shower, if they flush, you ass out. The water go cold if they flush.
Oh,
that's wild. So we were living luxury, basically.
I was living luxury.
And it wasn't luxury though, but I guess it was. How are they living now? Like,
right.
But for me, like the shit that people complain about, for me now that I'm older, like that just makes us closer.
Yeah.
Like, it's comedy to me. It's comedy to me that we used to literally have to go upstairs, sign a book, tell them where you were going to be if you went off campus, leave a number, right? That's comedy.
That's Hoya paranoia at its finest.
But that's Hoya paranoia. But I don't know which one of you said it. When you winning, all that shit is lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I will say this too. I think they need to add some more former players to the staff. I think that helps, bridge the gap for players that are on the team, because like you said, they're able to help the guys get through that, being on campus. It's like they have something to relate to,
I'm gonna take it a step further. I should have had this type of conversation with both of you 20 years ago. That's where I'm at. So where I'm at is
I probably wasn't ready 20 years ago.
Just because of the way you played, like we would have connected just on that. Like you would have been angry, right? And I would have come at you with that same type of. I wouldn't have come at you like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I'd be like, "You need to get in everybody's ass out there." Like it would have been just a different kind of, because whatever you were going through, either I went through it or I know somebody who sat right next to me who was going through it.
Correct.
We didn't have any West Coast dudes, so I didn't know that part of it. But just so many different type of personalities, and people think because we're on the same team together, we all get along. That's not the case.
I'm not going to curse, but too much.
My apologies for cursing, because
no. But I totally agree with what you're saying.
Right. I mean, we when we get between those lines, we have a common goal, right?
Yeah.
We're bonded that way, right?
Right.
Like anybody that I balled with, I felt like if I was in a fight or in a foxhole, because we used to fight back then. Like I knew these cats were ready to throw.
Yeah. Right.
And we might have had an argument at the dining table. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't have a dining table. My bad. I don't know if you guys had a dining table. We didn't have a dining table. And I'm saying all this pride. I'm saying this with pride, right? So if somebody else listens to this, they're gonna think, "Oh, he bitching." No, that made us tougher.
Yeah.
That made us closer. And again, that was the '80s. If they still doing that in 2020, there's something wrong with them.
Right.
Hopefully the meal plan and nutrition and all that has evolved, right?
It's advanced.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's advanced. So, I'm just at a point in time in my life where I want this connection with cats that went through what I went through. And then have a different story, a different point of view. Because I just know there's a lot of jokes in there. A lot of jokes, man. It's a lot of jokes. And some that we ain't even telling on here. That's a lot.
Hey, half of my stories I can't tell on here.
But see, I'm gonna have you back.
There we go.
Maybe when you come back, you'll tell those stories, because some of the stories I've heard on here, Bo, they're pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. I believe it.
And they're rated R. They're pretty funny. They're rated R.
Hey, isn't that the only way to go?
That's the only way to go.
I just want to say something about what Ashanti said. Like, I reached out to Pat Jr. Like we talked. I reached out to him about coaching at the school. Ashanti brought up a good point about having ex-players come back and coach. Now, in my pro career, I played against a lot of Hoyas. I played against Ruben. I played against Ruben 8 times one season. I played against Ruben 8 times one season. I played against KB 3 times, all in the same season. All right. I played against a lot of younger dudes too. So for that simple fact, I know guys are getting it overseas. Now, KB is someone that I'm closer to, so I know him. I know he's been trying to coach ever since he retired. I know he went back to Georgetown to finish his degree, so he could coach. Listen, like, I feel like that would be a great idea if Pat were to bring like KB, KB has been coaching. He's coached in Australia. He's coached in New Zealand. These are very high and respectable leagues, especially Australia. Australia is probably the second or third best league in the entire world after the NBA and EuroLeague or something. I don't know if you know about EuroLeague, but yeah. So he would be a perfect person for that, a perfect candidate. Now, I'm at the end of my career or whatnot. I could still play, like I said, but if the right thing came along, I would hop on it. So me and Pat had a conversation about it. COVID obviously messed it up because I was supposed to have a long conversation with Pat Sr. But listen, like, going back to the program that I played for, talking to guys with all my connections, all the agents that I know all the power agents in the NBA. I know all the power agents overseas. I'm well connected. I know where to go, where not to go. I feel like I would be a valuable person in the program because not only can I play basketball and I could, player development skills, scout and all that, I could literally help you when it's time to leave and point you in the right direction.
Correct.
That's something that I didn't have when I went to Georgetown.
Same.
No one in the Hoya family directed me in anything. I had to figure it all out by myself. I was like a newborn baby with it. So listen, like, I made some mistakes early on. I was supposed to get drafted. This, that, and third. I decided to go different ways, different routes. If I would have had someone when I was in school that was half honest or half knew what they were talking about, someone like myself, that could go a long way. So I'm thinking, and KB's in the same situation, the same thing. Like, these are 2 players that have played in the program for years that know basketball. I follow at a high level. Yeah, I follow high school. I follow college. I'm starting to follow college again. I follow high school. I follow the NBA. I could really help in this. So it's funny that you said that, Shay. Like, I got to talk to Pat again, and another thing is, like, you asked how COVID affected us. Look, I've lost money. I've lost a lot of money. I'm talking about 6 figures over Corona. So for someone like me, it hit me hard. But at the end of the day, like, I got to spend time with my son because I haven't been around him because I play basketball and he's young. So I've built a great rapport, a great relationship with this little guy. And as you can see, he loves basketball.
He can hit you in the head with the ball.
I'm a duck. This kid. But it's funny that you said that, and I'll be happy to come back. I got a lot to say.
If we want some current players or players who are just graduating to get in touch with you, how should we do it?
Hit my phone, like, bang my line. I got a phone number. I'm just on social media.
We go, okay, because I think I'm not waiting for the university to do anything, right? I mean, and not that they should. Like, this right here, for all intents and purposes, should probably be something that the program does on some level.
Right.
If you think about it. But this is 2020, right? We're going through a pandemic. We got all kinds of stuff going on. To me, and we Hoyas. So this is all hands on deck. So for me, you know, Bo brings up a really solid point that starts from what you just said about former players coaching, because that clearly is a consistent theme. Like,
Right.
everybody's saying that. So, but for me, while I'm waiting for that to happen, what is it that I can do? Maybe that never happens, right? So for me, if I'm talking to a young Hoya, or I had Jagan Mosley on, maybe, hey, Jagan, you need to holler at Bo over here.
You got some connections.
It's as simple as that. Like, he just left to go over to Hungary.
Right.
I'm putting out an all points bulletin for any Hoyas in Hungary, in Budapest. Holler at this dude. It's like me being in LA and not connecting with you guys. So for me, I like the fact that you're going to get in touch with Pat Jr. or Pat Sr. or whomever, but if I know you got that wealth of information, if I was just coming out, I should be seeking you out, or somebody should have pulled my coat to let me know about you. Because Greg Monroe brought up this point on the Dog Talk show. He said, you know, he was just making the point that when he comes back to the school, he doesn't find that the current players give a fuck. It's like they looking around, or nobody told them, yo, this dude used to hoop here. This dude scored over 1,000 points, 300 steals, 300 assists. Like, somebody needs to pass that on.
Right. And that's what former players would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would, like, you know, former players that's like, you know, within the new decade, you know, recently, you know, like a Kevin Braswell or even Bo, you know what I'm saying? Or I know Austin Freeman's coaching now over at DeMatha. So Austin would be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, huh?
Is he? He's coaching now?
He's coaching at DeMatha. But he'd be great too. You know, like, he has ties to our generation, like 05, 06, Mike Sweetney and them too, you know, 03, 04, a little bit before that with KB. He also has connections within the DMV area, you know, and, you know, he's still relevant enough to tell current players, yo, this is Greg Monroe, like, buddy was nice, you know? So instead of like them looking, I feel like a lot of the players now only look at the NBA players, you know, where, like, I didn't make it to the league. Bo's had a successful overseas career, you know, but they, like, if I go back on campus, they're not gonna know who I am. They're like, oh, that's just another dude coming to visit, you know, Pat or whatever, you know. So, you know, but I feel like former players should know who they are. Like, I was a student of the game, so like, if like Bebe come back, I'm like, oh, that's Bebe. He was a baller, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you put David Wingate, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I knew these cats, you know, because I was a student of the game, you know? So I feel like a lot of the players, like you said, just don't.
They just don't, they don't know. They don't care.
Yo, let one of those young hoopers at Georgetown not know who I am. I'm going to take them straight to the court.
Yeah, I definitely could have played with him.
Hey, you see I'm not smiling, right? You see how serious I am. You don't know who I am. We're about to find out.
Dead serious.
Hey, check up.
Check up.
All right, fellas.
Yeah, let me stop. All
right, fellas. All love. Hoya salute. Please stay in touch, man. Please.
We'll do.
All right,
thanks, Gene. Appreciate this, man.
Thanks for having us, man.
We'll talk soon.
Sure.
Love, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
See y'all.